My eyesight corrected itself until I realized I wasn't wearing my glasses. Posted by Valker J. For a bit of context, my eyesight is horrible. Even half a foot in front of my face is nothing but blurry color. Yesterday, my mom and brother picked me up to go to an appointment. I was running a little late, so didn't have time to put my contacts in or do my makeup, and was getting ready on the drive. So while Mom was driving, I was in the passenger seat with the mirror down. I took off my glasses to apply my eyeshadow. My brother, who was sitting behind me, asked me a question, and I turned to look back at him. When I turned my head back around, I quickly finished my eyeshadow and shut the mirror. I was looking out my window at the farmland just off the road and thinking how beautiful it was. When I suddenly realized that I hadn't put my glasses back on. They were sitting on the dashboard. As soon as I had the realization, my perfect vision went back to being just blurred colors. It was instant, like flipping a switch on my sight. It was so shocking that I yelled, "Holy shit!" My outburst startled my mom and brother. So I told them what had just happened, and they said they believed me but couldn't think of a rational reason for it. We tried to figure it out for the rest of the drive, but honestly couldn't. To be honest, if there's some secret to magically fixing my eyesight that I accidentally stumbled upon, then I wish I could find it again. I met me from the future and can't stop thinking about it. Posted by Death Before Taxes 21. This is a story that haunts me daily. This happened in 1992. I had just graduated high school and was working in a warehouse. I kind of enjoyed it and settled thinking I would probably retire here. Yep, I had zero ambition. I was a sad, lazy, cringe-inducing shitbag. A new guy started. It's a warehouse with high turnover, so nothing unusual about new guys. And everyone asked if we were related because we looked alike. He was probably late 30s, early 40s, and I was 18 at the time, and he was fatter. He seemed to carry himself like me the way he walked and spoke. His second day, we worked together on a wrapping station, and the first thing he said to me was, "You still have that Penthouse magazine under your mattress?" I did. Weird, but totally normal for teen boys, I suppose. He then said, "I know everything about you. You are worried about never getting a girlfriend." I was floored, but I again thought it was a usual teenage thing. I mean, I wasn't the best looking guy, so I guessed it wasn't a stretch to guess. Probably the start of bullying and the end of my job, as one thing I liked most about myself is that I have no problems fighting anyone, anywhere, anytime. No matter how big or how many, I was always down. I never won, but could take a beating, and the person usually quit and never messed with me again. I asked him why he was saying all this shit, and he looked at me, and his expression is seared into my mind and left an image I see daily. He said, "I am you." He then went on to tell me everything about myself. I mean, my deepest, darkest secrets that no one knows. Then he kept telling me more about myself. Then we went to lunch and we're outside smoking, and yep, same brand Camel Wide regulars. Hard to find where I lived, so I've never seen anyone else smoking them. I asked him to be serious and how he knew all this shit. He said, "I already told you, Tom Thawk." Tom Thawk is a nickname only one person called me, and he was my dad's friend I barely saw. A crappy Jetta pulled into the parking lot, and he said, "That's our girl. She is a demon who is horrible to us." I asked him why he's with her, and he said, "She's the best we could do." When she got out, she was disgusting looking. I mean, trailer trash would be too kind. And she waddled her ass over to us. She said, "Let's go." Before he left, he stared right into my soul and said, "We deserve better. Please go to college and stop being lazy and make something out of yourself." Trailer Park Girl just kind of laughed like, "Yeah, right." He left with her, and I never saw him again. I think I ran into a younger version of her at a friend's house years later, and he introduced me and said, "We should hook up." I said no. I went to college and stopped being a pathetic, lazy cringe fest. I accomplished everything I set out to do, as I always felt the need to not let him down. I know none of this makes sense, How can I explain something that I can barely understand myself? None of it makes sense whatsoever. Like, why would a future me get a job with me? He had to fill out a job application and have his references checked, right? Yes. I asked my manager, who was a piece of shit, who just told me to mind my own damn business and focus on my job and to try to be less of a screw up. Has anyone had something like this happen to them? It's haunted me daily since. I'm 48 and have not seen any time travel machines. Help me out here. Maybe end this once and for all. Please, tell me your experiences. I apologize for any grammar or anything like that, but I don't want to go over this any more than I have to, as I usually get really depressed when I think of this. Vanishing and Reappearing Keys, posted by Prince Sapandeja. This happened over the summer a couple of months ago. My friends and I wanted to go to the river to go floating, so we took separate cars. I got there first and parked at the bottom of the river. I turned off my engine and realized I had to turn it back on to roll the windows up. I sat back after rolling them up and distinctly remember thinking, I need to put the keys in my backpack. But I didn't do it. I left them in my ignition while I got everything together and waited for the others to come pick me up. I was sitting in the front seat gathering my belongings and went to grab the keys. But they weren't in the ignition. That's weird, I thought, but wasn't too concerned, believing that I had maybe just dropped them. I got out of the car and searched the whole car, and my friends showed up and helped me look everywhere. We were stumped, and they were becoming impatient since the weather changes so quickly where I live, and the sunshine could disappear at any minute. Then I remembered, oh hey, I remember thinking I need to put my keys in my backpack. So I grabbed my backpack and heard them jingle. Relief flooded my body as I reached in to grab them, but they weren't there. I was actually shocked. My head could not process what was happening. My homegirl said, get in the car and retrace your steps. So I sat down in my car, took a deep breath, and my keys were sitting in the ignition. I grabbed my keys quickly and shoved them in my backpack, and we never spoke of it again. But it bothers me every once in a while. It sneaks into my head when I hear my keys jingle, just wondering what the hell happened that day, and my only conclusion is that it was indeed a glitch in the Matrix.